You did it. You log into your account and there it is. 6 digits. A comma you've never seen in your own balance before. $100,247.83. You stare at it for maybe 30 seconds, waiting to feel something. The thing you've been chasing since you opened your first savings account at 19. You expected euphoria, relief, maybe tears. Instead, you feel quiet, almost empty. You screenshot it. Then you delete the screenshot because who would you even send it to? That's when it hits you. Not the money, the isolation. Nobody warned you about this part. Every book, every podcast, every YouTube video, they all tell you how to get to $100,000. Nobody tells you what happens after, what changes, and what breaks. It started 3 years ago. You were making $42,000 a year and spending $42,000 a year. Breaking even felt like winning because at least you weren't going backwards. Then something shifted. Maybe it was a conversation. Maybe it was a fear. Maybe you just got tired of checking your account and holding your breath. You set up the automatic transfer. $200 every paycheck. You didn't feel it at first. You adjusted. Fewer dinners out. Fewer Amazon boxes at your door. Nobody asked questions because nobody noticed. That's the first lesson of building real money. The beginning is invisible to everyone, except you. By month 6, you had $2,400. The number felt small, embarrassing almost. You'd watch videos of people talking about their 6-figure portfolios and think, I'm not even in the same universe. But you didn't stop. Month 12, $4,800. Month 18, $7,200. The math was slow, brutally slow. But something was changing that had nothing to do with the number. You were building a muscle, the ability to delay, the ability to see money and not spend it. Nobody tells you that saving money isn't a financial skill, it's an emotional one. Year 2. Something clicked. You got a raise. 12%. Instead of upgrading your apartment, you increased the automatic transfer to $400. Nobody around you understood this decision. Your coworker bought a BMW. Your friend upgraded to a 1-bedroom with a balcony. You stayed in the same place with the kitchen cabinet that didn't close properly. They asked if you were okay. Yeah, just being careful, you said. You couldn't explain the real reason. That you'd become addicted to watching the number grow. That the transfer hitting your savings account gave you more dopamine than anything you could buy. This is the phase nobody talks about. The phase where savings stops being painful and starts being satisfying. Not because you're depriving yourself, because you're proving something to yourself every single month. $25,000 became $40,000. $40,000 became $60,000. The compounding started to show itself, not just in the account, in your confidence, in the way you walked into a negotiation, in the way you stopped checking your bank account before every purchase. The money wasn't just growing, you were. Year 3. You were close. So close you could taste it. This is when things got weird. You started obsessing, checking the account multiple times a day, calculating exactly how many weeks until the comma appeared. You'd wake up at 3 a.m. and do mental math about your savings rate. 27.4%. If you cut the streaming services, 28.1%. The obsession wasn't about the money anymore. It was about the milestone. $100,000 had become a symbol. Proof that you weren't like everyone else. Proof that you had discipline when nobody was watching. Proof that the years of invisible choices had been worth something. Your friends started noticing something was off. You turned down a trip to Mexico. Not because you couldn't afford it. You had $87,000 in the bank. But because spending $1,200 felt like betrayal. Like taking a step backward. The trip wasn't the cost. The cost was watching the number drop below where you needed it to be. Live a little, your friend said. You nodded. You didn't explain. How do you explain to someone with $3,000 in checking that the number in your savings account feels more real to you than a beach in Cancun ever could? Today, the comma is there. $100,247.83. And you feel nothing. This is the part nobody writes about. The arrival fallacy. You spent 3 years obsessing over a number, and now the number is here, and the number doesn't change anything. The kitchen cabinet still doesn't close. Your coworker still drives the BMW. Nobody at work knows. Nobody calls to congratulate you. The bank doesn't send a letter. You try to tell someone, your closest friend. I hit 100, you say. 100 what? She asks. 100,000. Saved. There's a pause. Not the good kind. That's great, she says. But her voice says something else. Jealousy? Discomfort? Or maybe she just doesn't know how to respond to a number that big when her own savings account has $800 in it. You change the subject. You learn the lesson in real time. Some wins you celebrate alone. The weeks after $100,000 are stranger than the years before it. You notice things you didn't notice before. The way your friend group splits checks evenly, even though you know half of them can't afford it. The way your parents talk about money like it's something that happens to them, not something they control. The way your cousin posts about his new car, and you silently calculate the monthly payment in your head. You can't unsee any of it, and you can't talk about it either. Because who wants to hear financial advice from the guy who saved $100,000? They'll call you out of touch, privileged, lucky. They don't know about the 3 years of invisible choices, the skipped trips, the apartment with the broken cabinet, the 3 a.m. mental math. Money isolates you at this level. Not because you think you're better than anyone, because you're operating from a playbook most people around you have never read. The loneliness of $100,000 isn't the loneliness of being rich. It's the loneliness of being different and not being able to explain why without sounding like you're judging everyone else. And then the question arrives, the one you've been avoiding. What now? The chase is over. The number you oriented your entire life around for 3 years. It's here. And now there's a void where the obsession used to be. Do you go for $250,000? $500,000? $1 million? The math works. Compound interest says you'll hit $1 million in about 15 years if you keep going. But 15 years of what? 15 more years of the same apartment? 15 more years of deleting screenshots because you can't send them to anyone? You start asking questions money can't answer. What actually makes you happy? What are you going to do with all this discipline you built? Who are you when you're not chasing a number? These are terrifying questions. Because the saving was easy. The saving had a finish line. These questions don't. You log into your account again. $100,247.83. Still there. Somewhere, someone else is on month 4. $800 saved. They feel like it's not enough. They feel like they're not enough. They're watching videos about 6-figure portfolios and thinking they'll never get there. They don't know yet that the hardest part of $100,000 isn't the saving. It's everything after. The isolation, the questions, the void where the chase used to be. But they'll find out. And when they do, I hope someone tells them what nobody told you. The money matters. But the person you became to earn it matters more. And that person, the one who can delay, who can obsess, who can make invisible choices for 3 years straight, that person can do anything. Not just save, live, build, love, change. $100,000 is not the destination. It's proof you're capable of reaching one.